Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. My school has mutated and can be automatically upgraded. Chapter 61. The first 7 teams are all from prestigious schools across the country. But in the end, a Mond University appeared. For Mond University, there are still people who are clear. After all, it has been on the internet for a while. But it is precisely because it is clear that it makes people suspicious. Because everyone knows that Mond University is a second-class university. Compared with the first-class universities, it is a bit far away, not to mention the key famous schools. In the list of being eliminated, the students of the first-class universities are no longer a minority. However, they were eliminated, and students from a second-rate university were promoted. Everyone doesn't understand. Could it be that so many students from first-class universities are not as good as students from a second-class university? If not for knowing the game is fair, viewers must have thought that Mond students were going through the back door. Undoubtedly, the team of Mond University has become the biggest dark horse that no one expected. Even the official organizer has repeatedly confirmed and found that there is no mistake. Nor is it because of instrumentation issues. The Mond 10 University team really lived up to the mark. In the backstage of the venue, Yan Hao and the two had already seen the result of the match. We advanced. Both were very excited. For those elite students, promotion is a matter of course. But Yan Hao and the two would not. Because he came from a second-class school, he was always looked down upon. Now that they've made the cut, it's definitely a very important step for them. Naturally feel excited. Not long after the results were announced, this incident shocked the leaders of the organizers. Science and Technology Museum Lounge. At this time, the promotion list has been sent here. On the sofa in the lounge, a middle-aged man is sitting here. This man is the person in charge of Waihua Technology Company in this competition, Yu Chengxi. He knew the purpose of this contest. It is to inject fresh blood into the company and enhance the strength of the R&D team. So he is very concerned about the promotion list. Although the company offered $1 million bonus to the first-place team. But it's not that other talents are unimportant. After all, companies don't need a person. The students who have advanced to the team are also his target. Seeing the front part of the list, Yu Chengxi nodded. It was not what he expected. All of them are students from prestigious universities. But when he read it, he was stunned for a moment. Why is there still a group of students from ordinary high schools? Mond University, haven't heard of it. So Yu Chengxi became interested. Although he hadn't heard of Mond University, he had no particular opinion on what schools the students came from. Students come from ordinary colleges and universities, but it is more indicative of their talents. In this way, Yan Hao and the two entered Yu Chengxi's eyes. After getting interested, Yu Chengxi walked out of the lounge directly. He wanted to see what Mond's team did when they got on stage. When he came to the venue, Yu Chengxi sat down in a corner of the venue. He didn't startle anyone. At this time, the official game began. Next, students will take turns to introduce their achievements, advantages and disadvantages. Soon, the first team of students took the stage. This is a student from Imperial University. Seeing the students on stage, the audience quickly learned about the team. So started talking. I found it, I'll go, this team is a bit strong. The first grade of the National Electronic Competition, the first prize of the National College Student Innovation Competition. It's amazing to have won so many awards. This is genius. I suddenly feel that I have lived in vain for 20 years. After it was clear, everyone was shocked. Everyone knew that this time there would be talents to participate, but the first team gave them a surprise. So everyone began to listen carefully to several students explaining their achievements. Sure enough, they didn't disappoint the audience. Soon I will introduce the chip I developed in detail. Most of the chips developed by the students are optimized and improved on the basis of low-end and mid-range chips. The performance of the chip is greatly improved. As for why they don't optimize high-end chips, they need to be able to study them thoroughly. The technology of these chips is not accessible to ordinary people. High-end chips are the brainchild of those big tech companies. How can technology be so easy to study and understand? A technical team may not be able to study it, not to mention just a few students. So they can only start with low-end chips. It can optimize the low-end chips to a certain extent. You can also show your talent. After hearing the introduction of the first team, not only the audience was surprised, but even several judges' teachers were very surprised. Unexpectedly, they optimized an ordinary chip to such an extent. Performance is no worse than those high-end chips. The first team is over and the second team is on stage. Again, it's still amazing. Next, the teams took the stage one after another, until the previous 7 teams have all introduced their results. 443 Finally, it was Yan Hao's turn. They came to the stage without applause or cheers. Some just have doubts. Everyone was wondering what they could come up with. This time, Yan Hao was responsible for the introduction, and Cao Hongyuan was responsible for providing the data. Hello, audience and friends, hello to the judges and teachers, we are a team from Mond University. Yan Hao introduced to everyone. After introducing himself, he began to explain his achievements. The chips we bring today are different from the chips of the past. In the past, chips were simply integrated circuits, which were manufactured using lithography machines. But our chip is different because we're using quantum circuit integration, or quantum chips. Compared to today's high-end chips, our chips will be over 100 times more powerful. Yan Hao said very confidently. After saying this, the audience was stunned. The judge teacher was stunned. Even Yu Chengxi was stunned. They were all shocked by what the student said on stage. 100 times more than today's high-end chips. How can that be? Not to mention 2 students, even the technical team of tens of thousands of technology companies can't do it. None of the people present believed what Yan Hao said. Because it's so unrealistic. If they say the performance is slightly higher than today's chips, maybe it's still possible. But 100 times higher is simply nonsense. Even if it is bragging, I dare not say that it is so big. So, after the shock, everyone laughed. In the audience. Haha, I'm dying of laughter, but also the quantum chip, do you know what quantum technology is? Is this a student from that school, bragging is drafting? More than 100 times the performance. It's really awesome, I believe it. How did such a student get promoted, and come up to shame the school? Everyone was laughing at Yan Hao and the 2. At this time, a judge teacher spoke up. This classmate, do you have any basis for saying that the performance is 100 times higher than the current high-end chips? The judge teacher resisted his smile, and then asked. We have a test data here, and everyone will understand after reading it. Yan Hao didn't care about everyone's ridicule, but answered seriously. After he finished speaking, he looked at Cao Hongyuan. Cao Hongyuan understood what he meant. Then used the computer to project the data on the screen. Soon, the test data of quantum chips appeared in everyone's eyes. At the same time, Yan Hao began to use this data to introduce the advantages of their designed chips. The judges did not care at first. But after they saw the data, the expressions on their faces changed. They are all experts in chips. Naturally, we can understand the meaning of this data. Because of this, they were dumbfounded. From the data point of view, the performance is indeed 100 times higher than the current high-end chips. But, is this true? They don't believe it at all. Because it's beyond their comprehension. Even beyond the cognition of the entire chip industry. Yu Chengxi sat in the back and watched what happened on the stage. Disappointment on his face. It can be seen that he also does not believe the data that Yan Hao came up with. In fact, he didn't believe there was a reason. Waihua Technology has 80,000 technical researchers. Arguably the largest technology company in the country. Although the main business is communication technology, it is very powerful in all aspects. Especially in terms of chips, it has designed the best mobile phone chips in the world. It's a pity that it is restricted by foreign countries, and there is no way to use it in production. Otherwise, in terms of communications, Waihua Technology is definitely the world's top. Because of constraints, Waihua Technology is facing huge difficulties. Holding this competition today is part of the company's quest for change. But now he is disappointed. Because of the last group of students, he did not feel the slightest scientific research spirit. Scientific research is rigorous, and the most important thing is to seek truth from facts. How could anyone believe something so exaggerated? Even the scientific research team of tens of thousands of people in Waihua could not do this step. It can't even happen in the world. Can 2 students study it? On the stage. Okay, this classmate, you don't have to continue. How many people do you think believe the data you have presented? The judge-teacher interrupted Yan Hao and asked a question. Hearing this sentence, Yan Hao was stunned for a moment. Teacher, the data I have come up with is true and not at all false. Yan Hao explained. Is it wrong to be too powerful? Classmates, how much do you know about the current chip industry? Don't you know the current situation? The current chip technology has reached a bottleneck period, and it is very difficult to improve a little bit. There are so many technology companies in the world that can't do it. You are 100 times more powerful. How can we believe it? The judge-teacher taught very seriously. Hearing this, Yan Hao's face was very ugly. I didn't expect this to be the result. Mond University. Yi Feng is watching the game through live broadcast. He was very happy that the two of Yan Hao were able to advance. It's just the current ending that he didn't expect. The judges did not believe that what Yan Hao said was true. Others don't know, but Yi Feng is very clear. 100 times the performance is fully achievable. It is true that the current chip technology has reached a bottleneck period, but it is only for traditional chip technology. However, what Yan Hao and the two brought out was a brand new technology. The traditional technology is electronic circuit integration. Very complex calculations are done with small chips. But the technology is nearing its peak. It is very difficult to break through. But Yan Hao and the two are different. This time they used quantum circuit integration. In terms of computing speed, it can definitely surpass the current high-end chips by 100 times. It's just that no one has succeeded in this technology, so it's hard to believe. It is because of this that such things happen. Watching the live broadcast, Yi Feng frowned. The barrages in the live broadcast room were all mocking Yan Hao. Even Mond University has been implicated. This made Yi Feng very angry. Just then, the scene of the game changed. Teacher judges, since you don't believe the data I have come up with, I request an on-site test. Yan Hao made a decision. Now it is not about the result of their game, but about the honor of Mond University. If this matter is not resolved, it will have an impact on the entire Mond University. This is something Yan Hao and the two do not want to see. The honor of the school is more important than their competition. Hearing this, several judges and teachers began to discuss. They are discussing whether to waste time or not. Yes, in their view, field testing is a waste of time. Because it can't be true. After discussion, they decided to give the two students a chance. It's still early, and it's the last group. Not bad for this time. And there are also testing instruments on site, which will not be particularly troublesome. Okay, let's do a field test. The judges agreed. Soon, the testers took to the stage. Take the quantum chips of Yan Hao and the two to test. This time, the test data will appear directly on the screen in the field. Let everyone see if it's true. Soon, the test instrument was connected. As long as the judges and teachers call to start, the test data can be obtained immediately. Everyone looked at Yan Hao and the two. Want to see the worried look on their faces. Because once tested, their lives will be exposed. By then, it's not just their lives that will be stained. Even schools will be affected. Even their studies are over. But everyone didn't see that. Yan Hao and the two still stood on the stage confidently. This left the audience a little confused. Are you really not worried at all? At this time, the judge-teacher announced the beginning of the test. After the test instrument is started, the test data will appear on the screen soon. Everyone looked at the screen, noticing the changes in the data. No one is in a hurry, after all, the test takes time. 5 minutes later, the data on the screen started to stop slowly. Until it is completely determined. Full test data is out. This is tested in front of everyone, and no one will doubt the truth again. So everyone started watching the new test results. After watching it, everyone at the scene had a surprised expression on their faces. It's impossible, how about these 443 pieces of data? The judge-teacher below the stage stood up directly with an unbelievable expression on his face. Not only them, but the audience was also stunned. Although many people do not understand what the data represents, they have discovered a key point. The data from this on-site test is not much different from the data that Yan Hao showed you. Every test instrument is different, and there are errors for sure. For this, the audience can understand. But what they can't accept is, why are the data so close? Is it? Everyone had an idea in their minds. An idea that everyone can't believe. At the back of the venue, Yu Chengxi opened his eyes wide and stared at the electronic screen in front of him. He carefully double-checked every data. Some don't believe their eyes. Is it really more than 100 times more in performance? How is this possible? Now everyone believes the data is real. But it is precisely because of this that everyone has such a big reaction. How does such technology exist? Two classmates, is your chip really developed using quantum technology? A judge teacher rushed to the stage and asked Yan Hao excitedly. At first I thought that the data were fake, but I didn't listen to much at all. But now that it was confirmed, they remembered what Yan Hao had just introduced. In particular, the use of quantum technology to study chips is even more unexpected to them. Although this method has been proposed, no one has succeeded. Yes, we are working on quantum chips, Yan Hao said with great certainty. Okay, that's great. After the judges said goodbye, they walked off the stage. After confirming this, not only him, but everyone who understood was very excited. They all know what that means. This technological breakthrough is likely to have a huge impact on the entire technology community. Even affect the whole world. In particular, there may be hope for a solution to the technological blockade abroad. This is the most meaningful thing about this competition. Not only the audience at the scene, but also the questioning voices in the live broadcast room disappeared. Those who questioned the students and ridiculed Mond University are now all shut up. They are only now discovering that the clown is themselves. Especially some experts. Just now, I was very sure that it would not be possible. Completely up now. The results tested on the field of the game cannot be fake. What they didn't do, but was done by two students. There is no breakthrough technology in the world, which was broken by two students. Mond's students once again shocked everyone. Some people even turned up the last time Mond's students solved the world's problems. The last time shocked the entire academic world. What's going to be shocking this time around is the entire tech world. Both times were Mond University. A second-class university that has created two miracles. Those who knew about it began to doubt it. Is Mond University really just a second-rate university? This time, it's hard for Mond University not to be famous. Game scene. All 8 groups have been introduced. The next step is to select the best group. This is already the case. There is no point in selecting at all. While the other groups were still figuring out how to go, Mond's group was already flying in the sky. Not a level at all. There is no doubt that Yan Hao's group won the first prize. For this result, other students have no opinion. They all lost convincingly. After no doubt, the organizers announced the result. Seeing this result, everyone could not help but sigh. This is something no one thought of. A team from a second-rate university actually stepped on the teams from 7 key elite schools. Undoubtedly, Mond's team became the biggest dark horse in the game. And it's beyond everyone's imagination. Next, is the final part of the game. Awards. This time, the prize money for the first prize is 1 million. Enough for a fresh graduate to struggle for 10 years. But Yan Hao and the two won it because of a game. At this time, Yu Chengxi was no longer sitting behind. He got up and walked to the stage. As one of the leaders, he is today's presenter. After all the funds for holding this competition were sponsored by Waihua Technology Company. He should also be the one to present the awards to the students. Yu Chengxi is still somewhat famous in the science and technology world. As soon as he came to power, many people recognized him. The award ceremony has begun. The hostess will bring up the award certificate and bonus. Yu Chengxi took the certificate and walked to Yan Hao and the two. Congratulations, Yu Chengxi said to the two. After awarding the certificate, he handed over 1 million bonus cards to the two of them. Just then, a golden piece of paper fell on the stage. Glittering under the light, under the watchful eyes of everyone, Yan Hao welcomed the honor that belonged to them. Yu Chengxi stood under the stage and looked at the two excited students on the stage. He did not leave. Because there is still something to do, he came forward. This time, such a technique appeared in the game, how could he just walk away? Now Waihua Technology Company, Limited is most eager for talents. Especially talents like Yan Hao and the two cannot be let go. Maybe the company's hope of surviving the difficulties lies in them. However, now is not the time for him to come forward. Just after the award ceremony was completed, the reporters in the audience couldn't stop. So they directly surrounded Yan Hao and the two. At this moment, the live broadcast room was filled with pictures of Yan Hao and the two of them. They are not the only winners now. It also has the label of Monde University. This is not the honor of the two of them, but the honor of the entire Monde University. At this time, reporters began to interview Yan Hao and the two. Students, may I ask what prompted you to study this transgenerational technology? The reporter interviewed Yan Hao. Researching on quantum chips has always been a dream for both of us, and we have worked hard for 2 years to complete the design of this research. Yan Hao answered seriously. Speaking of the 2 years of struggle, he couldn't help but recall. Once upon a time, their dreams were so out of reach. But now, they have stood on the stage of their dreams and accepted everyone's praise. Students, you must have encountered many difficulties in the 2 years of struggle. Can you share with the audience? The reporter said to Cao Hongyuan, who was standing beside him. Although Cao Hongyuan has not spoken, everyone has not forgotten him. In our struggle, we have indeed encountered many difficulties, but those are all things that must be experienced on the road of research, and there is nothing to say. Actually, the real difficulty we encountered was that there was no equipment that could make chips. The required equipment is too advanced, and there are not many in China. Just when we were about to give up, the school's dream platform gave us hope, otherwise we wouldn't be able to stand here. Cao Hongyuan did not forget how his dream came true. The school's help to them is enough to make them remember for a lifetime. After listening to Cao Hongyuan's words, all the reporters were stunned. Unexpectedly, this matter has something to do with the dream realization platform of Monde University. For Monde's dream platform, the internet became popular for a while. After all, being able to come up with 1 billion research funding is not something that school can do. They still know something about this. However, there was no news after that. Many people have speculated that it must be Monde used to attract attention. It's simply impossible to actually take out that much money. Now it's about this again. And there are students who have researched their grades as a result. Is Monde University really giving away 1 billion to support student research? This allowed reporters to see useful information. Yan Hao, does your school really give so much money to support your research? The reporters asked curiously. Not only them, but also the audience are very curious. Everyone wants to know if this is true. I don't know if there is 1 billion, but the equipment we use is not cheap. And our school's research group is not just us, there are more than a dozen. They have the same treatment. Yan Hao answered with great pride. He knew that in a second-rate university, such conditions were impossible. But in Monde it did. Only Monde University did it. Such a school is worthy of his pride. After listening to Yan Hao's answer, everyone has been able to confirm. The thing about Monde giving out $1 billion research dollars is true. With Yan Hao's research results, it can be judged that the required equipment is not simple. Everyone understands that such devices can easily be in the hundreds of millions. Without certain financial support, it is simply impossible to do so. What's more, there are more than a dozen research groups. This time, everyone was stunned by Monde University's largesse. Even some students watching the game began to envy the students of Monde University. They want this treatment too. If they can support research funds, they may also be able to achieve some results. Especially those students who have dreams are already a little sour in their hearts. At this time, the reporters continued to interview. 2 classmates, who are you most grateful to for being able to achieve such an honor? The reporter asked. Hearing this question, Yan Hao looked at each other. They both already knew who the other party wanted to say. What we should be thankful for is our principal. Oh why? The reporter who asked the question was a little puzzled. When most people face this kind of problem, don't they thank their parents and schools? Although the principal should also thank him, he should not be the first to say it. The principal has been very helpful in our research. It can even be said that the principal has the greatest credit for being able to develop this technology. He not only provided us with research conditions, but also gave us very critical guidance when our research failed. Standing here, we want to say thank you to the principal. After speaking, the two bowed to the camera and thanked them. Everyone is a little confused about this answer. Student Yan Hao, many people know that your principal didn't even go to university. How can he give you advice? The reporter asked curiously. Although Yi Feng is the president of the university, he has never attended a university. This is something that many people know. They can understand the conditions for providing research, but this point is really incomprehensible. Can a person who has never been to college understand quantum technology? So this indication is likely to be other aspects. Many people have a big misunderstanding of our principle. What's wrong with not going to college? Do you have to go to college to understand this knowledge? We can show that the principle has a lot more than we do in quantum technology. Yan Hao explained to Yi Feng. They want everyone to know that the principle is totally different from what they know. Hearing Yan Hao's explanation, everyone was a little surprised. Unexpectedly, Principal Mond still has such an unknown side. This made those who were worried about Yi Feng's ability to manage the University of Mandela put down their worries. Judging ability by age really shouldn't. In fact, just think about it. Without some ability, how could the University of Mond be managed in such an orderly manner? This is not something a high school graduate can do. Now it seems that Principal Mond has not given up his studies at ordinary times. Today is another piece of information. At the same time, he also told the reporters that Mond had many secrets waiting for them to discover. Mond University. Yi Feng couldn't help laughing when he saw this scene. Unexpectedly, the two students would explain 2 sentences for him. This, 447, surprised him. However, these do not matter. He doesn't care what others think. Just being yourself is enough. At this point, the game has nothing to watch. Mond's students won the first prize, which is a nice honor. It's a great addition to Mond's discovery. Things like this don't end. Mond will get better and better. Game scene. The reporter's interview is over. The whole game has come to an end. Yan Hao and Cao Hongyuan returned to the background with the chips and certificates they had researched. This time, they got what they wanted. It's time to go back to years of dream. On this day is completely completed. They were still excited when they walked off the stage. Backstage, they started packing their things. Going back to school today. They have something to leave. But as soon as he walked out of the backstage, he was stopped by a middle-aged man. Hello, classmates, I am Zhou Fei, the manager of Ruolong Technology. I want to talk to you about some things. I don't know if I have time. Zhou Fei smiled in disgust with Yan Hao. Want to talk to us? Talk about what? Yan Hao and the two were very puzzled. They don't know what to talk about. What's more, they are not familiar with Zhou Fei. That's it, the 2 students performed very well in the competition, and our company would like to invite 2 students to join. Zhou Fei stated his purpose. Hearing this, the 2 classmates already understood. It was about recruiting. This thing is very common. Especially in each competition, there are more companies recruiting people. Because this is the easiest place to find talent. And it's clearer than the interview. Although the competition was organized by Waihua Technology, other companies also wanted to try their luck. In particular, students like Yan Hao who performed exceptionally well, they didn't want to let it go. After understanding Zhou Fei's purpose, Yan Hao and the 2 knew what to do. They are only in their 3rd year and have not graduated yet. It's not a job at all. What's more, they didn't want to leave Mond University so early. Just when Yan Hao and the 2 were about to refuse, a few more people came over. Hello, classmates, I'm the personnel manager of Micron Technology. Hello, classmate, I'm Opie Technology. 2 classmates, I am Tianxing Intelligent Company. Several people came to Yan Hao and began to introduce themselves. And they were very kind. These people are all from tech companies. The purpose is very consistent, that is, they want to invite Yan Hao to join their company. You know, Yan Hao and the 2 now possess the world's leading technology. If you can pull them into the company, it will definitely allow the company to develop rapidly. It has even become a large technology company in China and even in the world. How could someone be willing to give up such a sweet pastry? Seeing so many people, both Yan Hao were stunned. This scene really caught them off guard. Zhou Fei was a little angry beside him. Obviously he was the one who came first. Is there a first comer? These people are clearly trying to steal people. How could Zhou Fei let them succeed? Two classmates, as long as you are willing to join our company, we are willing to offer an annual salary of 1 million yuan. Zhou Fei directly stated the conditions given by the company. 0. For students who are not yet necessary, there are several that can achieve an annual salary of millions. He believed that Yan Hao and the two would be moved. I heard that Zhou Fei had already stated the conditions. People from other companies are a little anxious. So they stated their conditions. Our company is willing to give an annual salary of 1.5 million. 2 million a year. 3 million. Soon, the price shouted to 3 million. For college students, it has been very good. Hearing this condition, Yan Hao and the two were also a little surprised. Are college students so in demand now? And they were also students at a second-tier university. Yan Hao and Cao Hongyuan were not aware of their own value at all. Just treat yourself as a college student. The only difference is that they won a competition first prize. Although the conditions given by these companies are very good, they still insist on their own ideas. Before Yan Hao could speak, another voice sounded. We Waihua Technology give tens of millions of annual salary. Hearing this voice, everyone looked over. Even Yan Hao and the two were very curious. Then they saw an acquaintance. It was Yu Chengxi who gave them the award. Yu Chengxi walked quickly to the crowd. He didn't look at other companies, just stared at Yan Hao and the two. Two classmates, we met again. I'm Yu Chengxi, General Manager of Waihua Company. Our company is willing to pay tens of millions of annual salary and arrange housing issues. Yu Chengxi introduced himself and stated the conditions given by Waihua. Looking at the people in front of them, Yan Hao froze for a moment. Unexpectedly, Waihua Company came. In China, there is no one who does not know Waihua Company. What they didn't expect was that Waihua Company gave such good conditions. Hearing the conditions stated by Yu Chengxi, several companies that were very good at grabbing people stopped talking. They do not have the strength to compete with Waihua Company. I can only sigh in my heart. Talent has nothing to do with them. Faced with such good conditions, no student could refuse. Yu Chengxi looked at Yan Hao and the two. He was waiting for answers from the two students. For such a high price, I don't feel anything. As long as it can get talents, Waihua Technology is never afraid of spending money. Every year, Waihua Technology spends a lot of money on talent training. Because the company's philosophy is talent-oriented. That company can do it, and there are only 80,000 scientific researchers. It can be seen that Waihua Company attaches great importance to talents. Manager Yu, I'm really sorry, we have to continue our studies and cannot join Waihua Company. Yan Hao said his decision. Their continued stay in Mond is very firm. Cao Hongyuan thinks the same way. Hearing their decision, the people next to them were stunned. Are these conditions rejected? With an annual salary of 10 million, how many people in the country can achieve it? Except for the bosses of those big companies, it is really difficult to achieve an annual salary of tens of millions. 10 for such a good chance. Under such conditions, the leaders of several technology companies next to them all sounded sour. They are already senior leaders in the company. The annual salary is only a few million. Yan Hao's rejection made them feel a little weird. If you don't grasp it now, you will regret it in the future. The opportunity is fleeting. Maybe after they graduate, there may not be such conditions. But Yan Hao and the two were very firm. Even if the conditions are good, they are not willing to go. Because they know that they will regret leaving Mond University now. Have you made up your mind? Although surprised by the decision of the two, Yu Chengxi would not force it. It will not bully people by relying on big companies. For talents, Waihua has always been my luck. Thanks to Manager Yu for his trust in us, we have made up our minds and decided to continue our studies. Yan Hao said firmly. Well, the door of Waihua is always open for you. Yu Chengxi could only say regretfully. To be honest, he values Yan Hao very much. Especially when Waihua is so difficult. But everyone has their own aspirations, and it can only be said that there is no fate for the time being. Thank you Manager Yu. Yu Chengxi can be so kind, and Yan Hao are naturally very polite. After speaking, they were ready to leave. Waihua has already refused, and other companies do not need them to say it again. Suddenly, Yu Chengxi seemed to think of something. Two classmates, I have one more thing for you. Yu Chengxi stopped Yan Hao and the two. Please us, what's the matter? Yan Hao and the two were a little curious. They are just two students and can be of any help. I want to buy the chip you participated in the competition, of course, not to crack your technology, you can rest assured. Yu Chengxi said to the two. He buys chips for other purposes. As for stealing the technology of the two students, Waihua could not do such a thing. Buy chips. After hearing this, both Yan Hao were puzzled. They couldn't guess Yu Chengxi's intention at all. As for stealing technology, they never thought about it. This technology, they have applied for a patent through the school, do not worry at all. After thinking about it for a while, the two of them made a decision in their hearts. A chip is nothing to them. Back to school can be made at any time. Just buy it, just give this chip to Manager Yu. Yan Hao took out an exquisite box, which contained the chip. Then handed it to Yu Chengxi. Thank you so much, I believe we should meet again soon. Yu Chengxi smiled and said something to the two classmates. After speaking, Yu Chengxi took the chip and left first. Yan Hao and the two felt a little inexplicable. What will meet soon? However, they didn't think much about it and quickly left the Science and Technology Museum. Before they could reach the hotel where they were staying, Yan Hao's cell phone rang. The prize money for the game has arrived. Why is there more than 100,000? Yan Hao was a little surprised when he looked at the mobile phone reminder of the bank's arrival. The prize money they got in the game was 1 million. But what he received was 1.1 million. 100,000 for what? Cao Hongyuan said suspiciously. Yan Hao handed over his mobile phone and let Cao Hongyuan see it for himself. After reading it, Cao Hongyuan understood what was going on. The extra 100,000 is the money that Manager Yu bought the chip. Cao Hongyuan guessed. Just now Yu Chengxi said he wanted to buy it, but they didn't ask for money. It is very possible, then we will accept it. Yan Hao thinks there is such a possibility. So the two accepted it. In fact, they guessed right. The extra money was deliberately called by Yu Chengxi. A company as big as Waihua can't take advantage of the two students. Although the value of the chip cannot be determined, 100,000 is almost enough. This is the end of the Shuangxin competition. Yan Hao and the two bought tickets and left the magic capital on the same day, and rushed back to Zunyang City. The game is over, but the impact of the game has not gone away. The technology news of the day was all about this. After seeing the news, netizens who like technology are very excited. Performance is 100 times better than high-end chips. True or false? It happened in the presence of many people, of course it's true. 100 times the performance, if it is used on a mobile phone, can't it take off? I just want to ask, will it be used to make mobile phones? I don't know, I haven't heard of it yet, I hope it will, maybe it's Waihua's mobile phone. The quantum chip developed by Yan Hao and the two. In terms of performance, it has definitely surpassed the world level. Even a few big chip companies abroad can't keep up. If a mobile phone is made with this kind of chip, it can definitely be called the strongest mobile phone in the world. But when it will be applied is still unknown. However, some people have already thought about this. This person is Yu Chengxi. Yu Chengxi had this idea in mind when he bought that chip. However, he needs to determine some data first. Peng Cheng. Yu Chengxi returned to the company without stopping for a moment after the game. When he arrived at the company, he did not report the game. Instead, go straight to the company's technical department. Soon, he met the technical director Zhang Li. Lao Yu, what is it that makes you so tired? Zhang Li asked curiously when he saw Yu Chengxi walking into his office sweating profusely. Of course it's a big deal. You quickly go to the research room with me, there is something for you to help. Yu Chengxi pulled Zhang Li up from the chair, very anxious. Don't pull me, I'll go with you. Zhang Li was somewhat inexplicably urged by Yu Chengxi. However, he still followed. After a while, the two came to the research room. Old Yu, what can I say? Zhang Li asked curiously. Old Zhang, I have a chip here, and you will perform a data test on this chip now. Also, you do another analysis report on whether it can be used for mass production. Yu Chengxi handed over the chip he brought back from the magic capital to Zhang Li. Then state your request. This matter is very important, even related to the entire Waihua company. Yu Chengxi couldn't trust anyone else, so he pulled Zhang Li over. Zhang Li is an old researcher of Waihua Technology Company, and his technology is absolutely excellent and trustworthy. It is precisely because of this that Yu Chengxi will give him the task with confidence. Lao Yu, where did you get this chip? Zhang Li looked at the chip in his hand and asked curiously. Don't ask so many questions, the time is short and the task is heavy. Yu Chengxi said anxiously. He desperately needs this data and report. Because this is related to his next plan, and even the development of the entire company. Time really can't be wasted even a second. Otherwise, mishaps are likely to occur. Seeing that Yu Chengxi was so anxious, Zhang Li didn't ask. So he put on protective clothing and entered the research room. Yu Chengxi didn't leave, just waited outside for the result. Because he knew it wouldn't be long. The monitoring data and analysis reports needed this time are not difficult. After all, this is not the same as research, which only needs to be tested with instruments. Soon, half an hour passed. Yu Chengxi kept looking at the time outside, very anxious. At this moment, Zhang Li ran over very excitedly. Lao Yu, it's amazing, this chip is really awesome. I've never seen such a powerful chip. Zhang Li said very excitedly. At first sight of the data, he was shocked. After working in the Waihua research department for so many years, what kind of cutting-edge technology has never been seen? But this humble chip made him ecstatic. Yu Chengxi didn't have much reaction to the test data. After all, he has seen it. What he cares most about now is the analysis report. After all, that was the core of his plan. Old Zhang, let's not talk about the data, is the analysis report completed? Yu Chengxi asked Zhang Li. The analysis report is done, and I was about to say this is definitely the best chip for volume production. The production of this chip is very simple, as long as there is technology, it can be used for mass production. One thing, though, is that making this kind of chip requires a special kind of equipment that can only be bought abroad. Zhang Li introduced to Yu Chengxi. As he said, the quantum chip developed by Yan Hao and the two is not difficult to manufacture. In a chip, it's definitely simple. Traditional chip manufacturing requires the use of a lithography machine, and there are many steps. But this quantum chip is different. The steps are very simple and only need one device to complete. That is the special equipment that Zhang Li said. Because the chip uses quantum technology, this device is related to quantum. And this chip will no longer be restricted. As long as they can buy the equipment in Zhang Li's mouth, they can build their own factories. Even if you make this kind of equipment yourself, it is possible to achieve it. This is what Waihua company urgently needs. The chips they have developed before are also very good. But because of foreign technology blockade, all the supply of Waihua company was cut off. The biggest reason for this is that the domestic technology cannot meet the production conditions. Chip production is very demanding on equipment. This equipment is a lithography machine. The more advanced the chip, the more advanced the required lithography machine. And wanting to make a lithography machine is even more difficult than making an airplane rocket. Making your own is simply not realistic. Waihua's chips can only be produced by a few foreign companies. That is to say, Waihua company has technology but no production machines. But with quantum chips, that won't be the case. Because of the production of this chip, the lithography machine is directly bypassed. It can be said that it is a new way to directly achieve corner overtaking. That's why Zhang Li is so excited. No one is unaware of the difficulties encountered by Waihua company. Now, a small chip can solve all the problems of Waihua. How could Zhang Li not be excited? Hearing Zhang Li's words, Yu Chengxi was also very excited. All he wants is this analysis report. Now that the preparatory work is nearly complete, Ma Zhao is about to start his own plan. Old Zhang, I'll trouble you this time. I'll invite you to dinner when I'm done. After speaking, Yu Chengxi left directly. His target is the chairman's office. Since this quantum chip can solve Waihua's problem, how could this opportunity be missed? Soon, Yu Chengxi came to the chairman's office. Chairman, good news, good news. Yu Chengxi said anxiously when he entered the office. What good news? By the way, aren't you in charge of the game? Chairman Ren Junfei looked at Yu Chengxi strangely. Chairman, the good news I have to say is about the game. Yu Chengxi explained exactly what happened in the game. After hearing this, the chairman was shocked. What? 100 times better performance. Ren Junfei was very shocked by the news that Yu Chengxi brought back. If it was someone else, he might still doubt the truth. But this incident came from the mouth of Yu Chengxi, and the credibility is very high. After all, Yu Chengxi has been working in the company for many years, and he is famous for being stable. Chairman, this is the data and production analysis report I just brought back from the technical department. Yu Chengxi took out the document. This is a company that uses data to speak for everything. Although he knew that the chairman would trust him, the documents were definitely indispensable. This is why Yu Chengxi went straight to Zhongli when he came back. Ren Junfei took the document and began to look seriously. After a few minutes, notify the company's top management immediately, and hold a meeting immediately. Ren Junfei's eyes flickered with light, and he said very firmly. The company has gone through such a long and difficult journey, and finally sees hope. I'll let you know, Yu Chengxi said very excitedly. He knew that what he wanted to do was successful. After speaking, he left the chairman's office. It was already 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and it was time to get off work. Just then, the company executives received a notice. It must be an emergency to hold a meeting at this time. So no one neglected, and quickly went to the conference room. Soon, all the top executives of the company arrived. At this time, Ren Junfei and Yu Chengxi walked in. Ren Junfei saw that everyone had arrived, so he started a meeting. He asked the assistant to send the prepared documents, one for each person. Everyone looked at the documents in their hands. This is exactly the test data and production analysis report that Yu Chengxi brought. After reading it, everyone's eyes lit up. They can see that the test data of this chip is very gorgeous. Much better than what they've seen before. Has the company made another technological breakthrough? A lot of people don't know what's going on in the game, and naturally they don't know the data. Everyone has read the documents. Manager Yu will tell you about the situation first. Ren Junfei said to Yu Chengxi. So Yu Chengxi explained in detail about the BOD students in the competition. After listening, everyone was surprised. Unexpectedly, this chip technology turned out to be researched by 2 students. And this technology has surpassed the world level. It's incredible. Everyone is aware of the situation now. Our company has been in a difficult development since last year, but the longer it takes, the worse it is for us. Of course it's best if you can buy it. If acquisition is not possible, cooperation can also be adopted. This time, the major companies have given people a lot of authority to go to Monde University. It is to ensure that the technology can be successfully won. This technology is in the hands of that company, and all other companies do not want to see it. In this way, the entire technology world began to be turbulent. All eyes were on Monde, the humble university. As the target, Monde University did not know any information. However, the campus is also very lively. Yan Hao and the 2 returned to Monde University. The students spontaneously held a welcome ceremony for them. This time, Yan Hao and the 2 brought Monde a great honor. As Monde students, they were also happy in their hearts. Early next morning, the originally peaceful Monde University was shattered by luxury cars. Before the class time, the students started to be lively at the gate of the school. One luxury car after another stopped at the school gate. Immediately afterwards, I saw a big man get out of the car. Many students gathered around curiously. After seeing the people, they were all shocked. My God, isn't that Ren Junfei, the chairman of Waihua? Why did he come to our school? More than that, Yang Fei, the CEO of Qualcomm in China, got off the car next to him. I've seen it in celebrity magazines. What's the situation? There are 4 stars, Ego, Lianfake, are all big tech companies. What happened to our school? So many big guys came. The students were talking about each other, each one was more shocked than the other. These people are never seen at all. Even if you see it, it's on TV or in magazines. You can't see it in real life at all. What's more, seeing so many big men at one time. School gate. Ren Junfei and Yu Chengxi got out of the car. They've seen people from other companies. Chairman, these people. Yu Chengxi's expression was very worried. He could see that the purpose of these people was probably the same as them. Don't worry about it for now, wait for a moment to act on a whim. This technology must not fall into their hands, or Waihua will be in trouble. Ren Junfei said with the same seriousness. The importance of technology can be imagined. These people work for foreign tech companies. It can be said that Waihua is a deadly enemy. Once foreign companies get the technology, Waihua is likely to go to a dead end. Therefore, today is very important to Waihua company. Yu Chengxi nodded and began to be cautious in his heart. Ren Dong, I didn't expect to see you here, what a coincidence. After Yang Fei saw Ren Junfei, he immediately came over to say hello. Among these people, Ren Junfei is undoubtedly the one with the highest status. President Yang, you came very early. Ren Junfei said with a smile. Yang Fei also smiled. The purpose of everyone here is well known, and there is no need to mention it at all. At this time, people from other companies also came over to say hello. They are all people in a circle, who do not know who. Although it looks very nice now. But when it comes to competition, no one will be polite. Business competition is such a reality. Subsequently, a group of people entered the Mond University principal's office. Yi Feng came to the office at normal time. As soon as he sat down, Paimon's voice appeared. Principal, there are many people at the door. After Paimon finished speaking, he sent over the surveillance footage. Someone is coming. Yi Feng looked at the screen. A group of strangers did enter Mond University. These people are in suits and leather shoes, and they all have the momentum of many leaders. At a glance, you know that you are not ordinary people. Yi Feng looked at these people confidently and found that he only knew two people. It was Ren Junfei and Yu Chengxi. Ren Junfei is very famous in China, and few people don't know it. As for Yu Chengxi, I saw it during the award ceremony of the core creation competition. Others are not impressed. Paimon, can you find out the information on these people? Yi Feng asked Paimon. Headmaster, yes, we can find out right away. Paimon agreed. After a while, everyone's identity information appeared on the screen. Yi Feng started to look at the identity information. Soon he was finished. Surprised face. None of these people has a simple identity. All of them are boss-level existences. However, Yi Feng found one thing in common. These people are all from tech companies. Not only domestic, but most of them are top foreign technology companies. Yi Feng was puzzled. What are they doing in Mond? Although I don't know what their purpose is, but people have come, Mond University can't ignore it. So Yi Feng made a phone call and went out. Not long after the call was made, Ren Junfei and his party had already arrived downstairs in the administration building. At this time, Xie Lan was already waiting at the door. Yi Feng just told her to pick up someone. When Xie Lan saw the person coming, she was stunned for a moment. The principal just said that a distinguished guest had arrived and asked her to receive it, but did not say who it was. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be a group of bigwigs. Although not fully recognized, the identities of some people are still known. Especially Ren Junfei, who is often seen on TV. This caught Xie Lan by surprise. Fortunately, her method of comparison today quickly calmed herself down. Hello everyone, I'm Xie Lan, director of Mond University. The principal asked me to meet you here, and he will be there soon. You can go to the conference room to rest first. Xie Lan said politely to all the bosses. The bosses nodded and said nothing. Then go to the conference room with Xie Lan. Although they came to find the two students, they couldn't spare the school. Rather than being so troublesome, it's better to get in touch with the school first. Soon, a group of people came to the conference room. Xie Lan and several teachers warmly entertained him and did not dare to neglect. Mond is a university, and although it is in a system, it is not necessary to have a bad relationship with these companies. Not long after, Yi Feng came to the conference room. Hello everyone, I'm Yi Feng, the president of Mond University. I'm really neglectful. Yi Feng said to the crowd with a smile. Although he spoke politely, he did not mean to flatter. The aura of the master of a school on his body did not conceal at all. After listening to Yi Feng's introduction, everyone was a little surprised. Mond's headmaster so young. They have their own affairs every day and do not pay attention to other news. Naturally, he wouldn't know about Yifeng. If it wasn't for the news reports, they wouldn't even know about Mond University. However, none of this matters to them. And just get in touch with the school, talk about things or the master of technology. So everyone just nodded to Yifeng coldly. Only Ren Junfei replied with a smile. You're welcome, Principal Yi, it's us who interrupted. Ren Junfei was still very polite, unlike others. Yifeng knew what they were thinking and didn't say much. However, he still wanted to ask to understand the intentions of the crowd. Director Ren, why are you coming to Mond this time? Yifeng asked Ren Junfei. Principal Yi, we are here for a technology. Ren Junfei replied. A technology. Hearing this answer, Yifeng understood in his heart. It turned out that they came for the technology of quantum chips. No wonder it's all tech companies. The game just finished yesterday, and it's here today. It seems the news spreads fast. It's right to think about it, quantum chips do have such a weight. How can a company not be tempted by a technology that surpasses the world level? Knowing this, Yifeng already knew it. Since you are here for the sake of technology, I have asked 2 students to be called. Yifeng didn't want to talk too much with these bosses. Except for Ren Junfei, everyone else looked aloof. He has no interest in such people. Paimon, notify Yan Hao and the 2 to come to the conference room of the administrative building. Yifeng, 450, did not do anything, and said to the mobile phone. Okay, headmaster, Paimon replied very obediently. After that, Yifeng didn't care. Ren Junfei, who was sitting next to him, looked at Yifeng strangely. He was wondering who Yifeng was talking to. The phone has been turned off, not turned on at all. Yifeng also did not see any operation. From the moment he entered Mond University, he felt that Mond was special. It doesn't seem like some of the schools he's been to. In particular, some of the buildings of Mond University are completely inconsistent with the school's style. Seeing Yifeng now makes him a little strange. Because of Yifeng, he felt a calmness that was not suitable for this age. And after seeing them, he was not surprised at all. This is so anomalous. Not that their identities are shocking, but a common phenomenon. If such a group of them go to other schools, the principal of the school must be very excited. You must know that any of these companies can become a school enterprise cooperation unit, which can bring great benefits to the school. When recruiting, it must be a very important plus point. Students go to college not just to be able to find a good job. The school has a strong school enterprise cooperation unit, which will definitely make students think more. Because entering such a school, after graduation, the possibility of entering a large company will increase a lot. But now, the president of the University of Mond has no response. I don't even bother to chat with people from other companies. It's not easy here. Although Ren Junfei felt strange in his heart, he did not say it. In any case, let's talk about cooperation first. Without making everyone wait too long, there was a knock on the door of the conference room. Xie Lan led Yan Hao in. Then go out on your own and bring it to the door by the way. Headmaster, Yan Hao shouted to Yifeng. After saying hello, they looked at the others. Only then did I realize that there were so many people in the conference room. And a few seemed to have seen it somewhere. Just can't remember something. However, they saw an acquaintance. Yu Chengxi of Waihua. This reminded them of what Yu Chengxi said when they parted. They will meet again soon. It's only a day apart, it's really fast. Yan Hao, Cao Hongyuan, these are the CEOs of major technology companies. The purpose of their coming is to take a fancy to the quantum chip technology in your hands and want to cooperate with you. Yifeng explained the purpose of calling the 2 students here. Work with us. Yan Hao and the 2 were a little surprised. I didn't expect that so many bosses came for them. 2 classmates, I am Ren Junfei, chairman of Waihua Company. The quantum chip technology you have mastered is very useful to us. Whether you want to sell or technical cooperation, we will not let you suffer. Ren Junfei said to Yan Hao and the 2. As soon as he finished speaking, people from other companies also spoke. 2 little friends, I am Yongfei from Low Pass, you know our low pass strength, and it is absolutely the most suitable to cooperate with us. I am from the 4-star group and welcome to cooperate with us. I am the head of Ego Technology in China, and it is the wisest choice to cooperate with us. Everyone knows that the technical patents are in the hands of the two students. How to choose and who to choose is up to the two of them to decide. Point 0. I think you've got the wrong person. You shouldn't ask us about this, you should ask our principal. Yan Hao stood up and said, I got the wrong guy. Everyone was stunned. They were looking for two students. When he came, he had already determined the identities of the two of them. It is absolutely impossible to admit wrong. Even Yi Feng was confused by the two students. What to do with him? Although he is the principal, he will not interfere with the decisions of the two students. Technology is researched by you, you make your own decisions, I will not interfere. Yi Feng said to the two students. No, technology can be researched, and the principal's credit is the greatest. It would have been impossible for us to have succeeded without the principal's guidance. So when we applied for a patent, we wrote the principal as the first inventor. Cao Hongyuan explained. Hearing this explanation, all the bosses fell silent. I didn't expect something so dramatic to happen. After a long time, Yi Feng was the one who made the decision. Yi Feng didn't expect two students to be like this. Although he knew that Yan Hao and the two had applied for a patent, he did not know that they wrote themselves on the first inventor. At this time, all the bosses had turned their attention from Yan Hao to Yi Feng. Original indifferent expression has completely changed. If Yi Feng was just the principal, they could not care. But now Yi Feng is the one who makes the decision. Naturally they cannot be the attitude just now. Principal Yi, look at how the cooperation is decided. If we can, we are willing to invest 10 million yuan to acquire this technology. Yang Fei, the person in charge of Low Pass, said directly. Hearing this price, the other bosses frowned. They all felt that the price was too high. Although the technology is leading with the world, the value is certainly not low. But the first bid is so high, it will definitely take a lot of money. Although the head office has given a lot of authority, they can spend as little as possible, and they are definitely not willing to take more. However, Yang Fei has already made a bid, so they can't ignore it. After Yang Fei finished talking about the price, he looked at the other bosses. He said this price first, in order to attract new ideas. We all come here for the same purpose, and we will definitely not give up easily. Otherwise, why waste time? Principal Yi, 4-star invested 15 million to acquire it. Our Love Fruit Company invested 20 million, 25 million, 50 million. Not far behind, the heads of several companies also began to increase prices. The funds were quickly increased to hundreds of millions. All want to buy technology at once. This saves a lot of trouble later. Compared with these anxious companies, Ren Junfei did not speak. He sat in a stable position, not at all worried that someone would take the technology away. Because he knew very well that it was impossible to buy quantum chip technology with such a small amount of money. And Ren Junfei was always paying attention to Yi Feng. The price of hundreds of millions is already a high 10 price for others. But Yi Feng's expression was very calm, without the slightest wave. The price was added to 300 million, and it stopped temporarily. Now they all want to see what Yi Feng means, and then they can decide whether to continue to increase the price. As long as Yi Feng decides to sell, they will leave a higher price. Everyone, this technology, I do not intend to sell. Yi Feng directly cut off their thoughts. Yi Feng can still tell the difference between direct sales and cooperation with big companies. For these large companies, it is of course the best to get all the technology directly. This saves a lot of trouble later. Strictly speaking, they are all businessmen and naturally have to consider their own interests. Yi Feng doesn't plan to sell directly, so he can only cooperate. However, Yi Feng's words were not finished yet. I don't plan to sell, nor do I plan to cooperate with companies outside the Dragon Country. Everyone, I'm so sorry. The bosses who were still able to laugh, changed their faces after hearing this sentence. They know very well what this sentence means. In other words, they have no chance for this cooperation. President Yi, don't say that. Although our company is a foreign company, we have always cooperated with Longguo Enterprises. And our company's strength is one of the best in the world, and it is a good choice to cooperate with our company. Yang Fei was unwilling to give up, so he persuaded Yi Feng. As soon as he finished speaking, the heads of other companies also began to speak. In short, it is a point of view, praising the advantages of your company. They wanted to use this to convince Yifeng to change his mind. But Yifeng was unmoved. For him, it doesn't matter to cooperate with that company. Instead, it is better to cooperate with companies in their own countries. Ren Junfei sat next to him, very surprised. He didn't expect that it would end like this. Competing with these companies, he really does not have much confidence. After all, the current Waihua is restricted in all aspects, so it can be said that it does not have the slightest competitive advantage. Well now, he doesn't have to worry at all. Yifeng directly cut off the thoughts of other companies in one sentence. Among all the companies present, only one company, Waihua, belongs to Longguo. Although not directly stated, it is almost there. Principal Yi, you really don't think about it anymore. If our cooperation can be reached, Low Pass can completely become a school enterprise cooperation unit of Mond University, which is only good for Mond. Yang Fei still didn't want to give up. Before coming, he had made a package with the head office. I didn't expect it to end before it even started. Mr. Yang, forget about this cooperation, there will still be opportunities in the future. Yifeng said with a smile. It is indeed very tempting to become a school enterprise cooperation unit with Lopas. After all, Qualcomm is a big international company. But Yifeng didn't care at all. Mond University is different from other universities. Other universities need all kinds of resources to support development. But Mond University has its own capital. The system is the backing behind Yifeng's development of Mond University. Therefore, the low pass conditions simply cannot attract him. The heads of other companies wanted to say something, but seeing Yifeng was so determined, they gave up. In that case, Principal Yi, we will leave first. There is no hope for cooperation, and there is no need for these responsible people to stay. So they all said goodbye and left. Yifeng asked Xielan to send the leaders away instead of him. Soon, there were not many people in the originally lively conference room. Principal Yi, did you really just give up the opportunity to cooperate with these companies? Ren Junfei looked at Yifeng curiously. He felt that he could not guess what Yifeng was thinking. Ren Director, I believe that Waihua's strength is no worse than these companies. Yifeng said with a smile. Okay, thank Principal Yi for his trust in Waihua. Ren Junfei knew in his heart that this was Yifeng's support for Wei Hua. Otherwise, in terms of competitiveness, Waihua does not have any advantages. Yifeng smiled and said nothing. Support things, everyone knows in their hearts, and there is no need to say them. Now that the object of cooperation has been determined, the two began to talk about cooperation. The conversation went very smoothly and was settled quickly. Both parties reach a condition. Mond provides technology, and Waihua provides funds and personnel to form a new chip company. Mond's side accounted for 60%, and Waihua accounted for 40%. Yifeng doesn't have too many requirements for these things. It's totally a way of throwing hands off the boss. It doesn't matter if the technology is provided. However, Ren Junfei told him one thing. He wants to make the chip company bigger. In China, there are not many powerful chip companies at all. This has always been subject to foreign countries. Now they have technology, capital, and personnel. It can completely make this company the largest chip company in China and even in the world. Traditional chips have reached a bottleneck, and this quantum chip will soon become mainstream. At that time, it is foreign countries who come to beg them. As for technical blockades, whoever blocks them doesn't necessarily. Chapter 71. After the cooperation talks, Ren Junfei did not leave the University of Mond directly. And it's been a morning. The main purpose is to discuss with Yifeng about the new company. However, basically it was Ren Junfei who spoke and Yifeng listened. After all, Yifeng doesn't know anything about company management. Only some technical comments can be made. On quantum chips, his knowledge is not comparable to that of ordinary people. So on technical issues, Yifeng can still say a few words. For example, streamlining the chip production process was proposed by Yifeng. Although he does not understand what the current chip is. However, the use of quantum chips with 100 times higher performance on mobile phones is a complete waste. Mobile phones also need comprehensive development. If the chip is suddenly greatly improved, other hardware can't keep up, and it won't work. Instead, it is better to reduce some performance and reduce the difficulty of production. For this point, Ren Junfei also knew in his heart. But he doesn't know anything about quantum chips, and he doesn't know if it can be changed. This matter can only be resolved by Yifeng. With the technology that Yifeng has mastered, if you want to make a change, it can be said to be casual. In terms of the original technology, Yifeng could just change a few things to achieve it. Seeing Yifeng's improved technique, Ren Junfei admired it very much. The chips produced by the new technology have only 5 times the performance of the current top chips. But the production difficulty is reduced by a factor of 7. It can be said that this modified new technology is more suitable for the current stage of production. It is more suitable for this era. Compared with traditional chips, the cost is reduced by 2 times. In this case, it is obvious who has a more competitive advantage. So a generation of chips was born. After discussing the details, Ren Junfei left Mond University. He also has to work on the new company. The personnel and equipment of the new company need to be solved by Ren Junfei as soon as possible. The chips in Waihua's stock can't be supported for long. Compared with last year, Waihua's sales have dropped a lot. They have tried their best to delay until now. Therefore, the new company must be established quickly. This will solve the company's predicament. It is not impossible to even return to its heyday. In fact, Ren Junfei still had an unwillingness to admit defeat. Since he was restricted last year, he felt very uncomfortable. Always looking for ways to break through. To this end, the funds he poured down are more than 100 billion. But still no hope. Now hope is finally here. How could he not be in a hurry? If it is completed one day earlier, Waihua Company will be able to be reborn from the ashes one day earlier. This is an important step for Longguo Enterprises to resist the world blockade. It is also for the people of the world to see that Longguo Enterprise cannot be overwhelmed. The new company is headed by Ren Junfei himself. All of Waihua's projects must make way for the new company. To this end, Waihua directly spent 5 billion to purchase equipment. Although the equipment for making such quantum chips is special, the value is not low. But only money can buy it. Not as rare as a lithography machine. There are only a few truly advanced lithography machines in the world. A complete monopoly can be achieved. With the heavy investment of Waihua Company, 100 pieces of equipment were successfully shipped back to China. These devices can fully meet the pre-production. In addition to the equipment, Waihua also took out the venue. At the same time, 1,000 people were selected from the company's technical staff. This is done in order to be able to get the new company up and running as quickly as possible. At the same time as the establishment of the company, the cooperation between Waihua and Mond University has been publicized. The news surprised everyone. For a time, Mond University was in the limelight. As a top company in China, no one does not know about Waihua. It is certainly not easy for a university to have such a large cooperation with Waihua Company. This made many people curious about Mond. Not only that, Waihua also announced that next year's mobile phones will be equipped with new quantum chips. As soon as the news came out, the entire tech world exploded. Especially other mobile phone companies can't sit still. The news about quantum chips has long been spread. So many companies know about quantum chips. I just didn't expect that Waihua would start so fast. Before they could react, Waihua had already started making mobile phones with new chips. This has made those mobile phone manufacturers anxious. Even if they use the most advanced chips, it is impossible to catch up with Waihua. After all, Waihua uses a quantum chip with a performance that exceeds the current top chip by 100 times. Even if they put all their funds into it, they have no confidence to exceed it. So they started changing strategies. If you can't beat it, join in. In this way, all domestic mobile phone manufacturers began to go to Waihua. The purpose is to talk about chip ordering. If they can't research it, they choose to buy it. Where to buy is to buy. They used to buy chips from abroad. After all, domestic chips simply cannot satisfy them. Now that top chips can be produced in China, they must choose domestic products. For the orders, Ren Junfei did not refuse, and accepted them all. Just gave them a time limit. In this way, the new company's orders have reached 100 billion. You know, the new company has not been built yet. If it was built, it would definitely be even crazier. Seeing this, what is Li's Ren Junfei is looking forward to the future of the new company. He had long hoped that one day, Longguo's chips could be sold internationally. It seems that day is not far away. When technology was backward in the past, if you want to develop, you need to look at people's faces everywhere. But it's different now. They have made the technology lead the world. Finally got something I could get my hands on. This is enough to make people proud of it. The construction of the new company was very rapid. It only took 3 days to complete all the facilities. Apart from the fact that it will take some time for the equipment to be shipped from abroad, everything else has been done. As soon as the equipment arrives, work can start immediately. New quantum chips will soon be produced and used in a variety of electronic instruments. The pattern of the electronics industry will soon usher in great changes. After several days of news reports, Mond University became popular again. However, this did not have much impact on the school. Life at Mond University is still very peaceful. Students should study the class, study the study. Yifeng has had a very fulfilling life recently. Research building. Do you remember what I told you? Yifeng looked at Yan Hao and said. Remember it all, principal, don't worry. Yan Hao replied with a smile. Yifeng has been staying here for the past few days. It is to help Yan Hao and the two to supplement their knowledge. Although they have researched quantum chips, they do not have a deep understanding of many related knowledge. This can be seen from the mistakes in their research. Yifeng personally helped them to supplement their knowledge because he wanted them to go to the new company to help. To start the new company jointly, Mond needed to provide the technology. Provide on-paper technology, how can there be on-site guidance to come quickly? Therefore, it is definitely the best choice for Yan Hao to go to the company in person. It also helps them improve their practical experience. Only good for the future. It is precisely because of this plan that Yifeng will make up lessons for the two students. Enable them to acquire more knowledge. What's more, Yifeng streamlined the technology. Two students also need to understand the principle. I can't always go to the company, and I don't know if I ask 3 questions. Those who lost like that were people from Mond University. Because the two students have the foundation, the speed of mastering the knowledge is also very fast. After 2 days, I have already learned almost what Yifeng said. When you come to the company, you must listen more, watch more, and learn more. This is a good opportunity for you to learn. Don't think that it is great to develop a quantum chip. Yifeng instructed Yan Hao and the two. For the new company, Waihua has provided a lot of elite technical talents. If Yan Hao and the two entered the company, as long as they study humbly, it will be very beneficial to their improvement. This can make up for their lack of knowledge in a short period of time. It can be very helpful for their future development. Headmaster, we know. Yan Hao and the two really nodded. They are also very clear in their hearts. The principal is helping them. Not everyone has such a good opportunity. Even the best universities in China may arrange their own students to study in the technical department of Waihua. But Mond University did it. And now Mond University is still a school enterprise cooperation unit of Waihua. It is also much easier to work in Waihua company in the future. Go back and clean up, and go to the new company in the next 2 days. After Yifeng finished speaking, he left directly. He has done what the principal should do. As for how far they can go in the future, it's up to them. However, the establishment of a new company this time is a good thing for Mond University. The potential of the new company is enormous. It can even grow into the world's top company. This will be the most stable source of income for Mond University. Even if it does not rely on system rewards in the future, it will still have the strength to continue to develop Mond University. It was definitely a very important step for Mond. Leaving the scientific research building, Yifeng thought about the administration building. After a few days of work, I can finally rest. But some things cannot be avoided. As soon as he walked to the door of the administrative building, he was stopped by someone. This classmate, I want to hit you with something. A middle-aged man stopped in front of Yifeng and asked him about things. Yifeng is about the same age as the students. Here is school again. It is not unusual for him to be regarded as a student. Who are you? Bod. Yifeng looked at the middle-aged man curiously. Judging from the dress and age of the two, it can be determined that they are not from Mond University. It's like a parent of a student. We are the parents of your school students, and we have something to do with your school leaders. Do you know which office is the leader in charge of dropping out? The classmate's father asked Yifeng. Leaders in charge of dropping out. Why drop out? Yifeng was even more puzzled. He was still happy just now that the development of Mond University is getting better and better. Now it's better, parents come and drop out of school directly. This made Yifeng start to pay attention. If it is a problem with the school, it must be resolved as soon as possible. The classmate's father was a little embarrassed, and it seemed that he didn't want to say anything. However, he saw a trace of sadness in the father's eyes. It seems that things are not simple. Uncle, let me take you there, I know where it is. Yifeng didn't ask again. After all, he has not revealed his identity as the principal yet. Okay, it's really annoying, classmates. The classmate's father thanked him. No trouble. Afterwards, Yifeng took the student's parent to the office of the director of the political and educational office. Uncle, it's here, you go in. Okay, thank you classmate. The classmate's father thanked him and went in directly. Yifeng didn't leave, just sat not far away. Half an hour later, the classmate's father walked out of the office with the completed suspension procedures. Not very far away, he could see that the father's eyes were red. It must be a painful thing to make a big man so sad. This made Yifeng frown. After a while, the classmate's father left. Yifeng directly entered the office of the director of the political and religious division. Headmaster, you are here, sit down. Guo Mingyi, director of the political and religious office, saw Yifeng walking in, so he hurriedly greeted him. No need to sit, why did the student's parent want to withdraw from school? Yifeng asked directly. Headmaster, you know. Guo Mingyi looked at Yifeng in surprise. I asked you why you dropped out. Yifeng felt that what Guo Mingyi said was inexplicable. He knew what. If he knew, would he still ask? Guo Mingyi smiled awkwardly, thinking that Yifeng already knew all about it. It seems that the knowledge is not comprehensive enough. Principal, the parents just dropped the student because the student was sick. Guo Mingyi said the reason for dropping out. Sick, what? Liver cancer. Hearing these two words, Yifeng fell silent. When Director Guo said that the students dropped out because of illness, he knew that it was not an ordinary illness. Otherwise, it won't come to the point of dropping out. Sure enough, he guessed right. In this cancer-stricken society, cancer has become synonymous with death. If it is detected early and treated early, there is still a chance to survive. Just cost a fortune, but if cancer cells have spread, they can only rely on drugs to survive. The final outcome is almost doomed. But no matter what, it will make a family go through great pain. If the family has money, it is better. But if there is no money, it will be a fatal blow to a family. Yifeng had noticed it just now. The parent who just dropped out of school doesn't look like a rich man. The family should not be rich. Now that something like this happens, life is even more difficult. When parents come to drop out of school, do you directly approve it? Yifeng looked at Director Guo next to him. When such a big thing happened to the students, it would be too ruthless as the leader of the school to not ask anything. I didn't drop him out of school, I did leave school, and as long as he got better, he could come back to school at any time. It's just this disease. Director Guo did not continue to speak. Cancer is not so easy to cure, let alone an ordinary family. You check that hospital, let's go and have a look. Yifeng said to Director Guo. After all, he is a student of the school, and he can't let it go. Okay, I'll do it right now. Director Guo should come down. Afternoon, Yifeng and Director Guo came to the First People's Hospital of Zunyang City together. Before coming, Director Guo had already inquired clearly. Peng Lin is in this hospital. Soon, they found Peng Lin's ward. When they arrived, Peng Lin's parents were sitting outside the ward. Neither of them spoke, but the sadness could be clearly seen on their faces. After knowing this, Yifeng had already read all the information about the sick student. The sick student, named Peng Lin, is a freshman. To Yifeng's surprise, among the students admitted by Mond University, he turned out to have the highest score in the college entrance examination. Family conditions are very ordinary. Both parents are from rural areas and are now working in Zhunyang City. Perhaps this is one of the reasons why he enrolled at Mond University. In addition to his parents, Peng Lin also has a younger sister who is in junior high school. My sister went to high school in a private school in Zhunyang urban area. The annual cost is not low. Peng Lin's illness is undoubtedly a disaster for the whole family. Especially Peng Lin's parents, as if the hope of supporting their struggle disappeared at once. Parents work hard all their lives, not just for their children. Peng Lin is the hope of his family. As an ordinary family, when our son was admitted to college, the whole family was very happy. The family has no money, and they have to pay for their children to go to college. Even if they are tired, parents still have motivation. Especially when sending their children to the university campus is the proudest time for Peng Lin's parents. It's only been 2 months since this happened. Too much of a blow to a family. Yi Feng and Director Guo walked over. Mr. Peng. Director Guo shouted to Peng Lin's father. Director Guo, and this classmate, why are you here? Father Peng looked at Director Guo and Yi Feng in surprise. He recognized Yi Feng. At noon, he saw it all. However, he did not know Yi Feng's identity. Mr. Peng, I came to see Peng Lin with the principal. Peng Lin is a student of our school after all, he is sick, we can't ignore it. Director Guo said. The principal is here too. Is he here yet? Father Peng said in surprise. He didn't expect that this incident would still alarm the principal. Uncle Peng, I am the president of Mond University. Yi Feng said to Father Peng. Are you the principal, not a student? Father Peng couldn't believe it. Mr. Peng, this is Yi Feng, the president of our Mond University. Director Guo introduced a sentence. Really, Principal Yi, it's really rude, I didn't recognize it at the time. Father Peng was a little embarrassed. At noon, he even asked the principal to lead the way. It's embarrassing to think about. It's okay, it's all little things. Uncle Peng, how is Peng Lin's condition? Yi Feng asked. Hearing this question, Father Peng immediately praised him. The doctor said that it is already in the middle stage and it is not easy to treat. He also said that he would pay 100,000 yuan for an operation, and there was no guarantee that he would be cured. Speaking of this, Peng father's face immediately appeared melancholy. And more intense than before. 100,000 yuan is not a small burden for a family like them. If that's the case, they can find their relatives and they can take it out. They worry that there is no guarantee of a cure. In other words, whether Peng Lin can survive or not is unknown. Uncle Peng, can we meet Peng Lin? Yi Feng did not continue to ask. If it's just a matter of money, it's the easiest. Money is not necessarily a cure now. It doesn't make sense for him to keep asking. He's in the ward, you go in. Father Peng did not stop him. Yi Feng nodded and walked into the ward. When they entered, Peng Lin was sitting on the hospital bed in a daze. Surprisingly, Peng Lin was very calm. There's no such thing as a terminal illness. Principal, why are you here? After seeing Yi Feng, Peng Lin was a little surprised. Today your father handled your withdrawal from school, and we know about you. Yi Feng said calmly. I'm already like this, I'm afraid I won't have the chance to go back to campus. Peng Lin smiled bitterly. Principal, can you help me persuade my parents? I don't want to be cured. Peng Lin looked at Yi Feng. There was a look of unwillingness and helplessness on his face. He knew that this would only drag down the parents and the entire family. Peng Lin didn't want this. For some reason, Yi Feng couldn't help sighing when he saw this. Life is really fragile in the face of illness. At this moment, a voice sounded in Yi Feng's ear. It is the sound of the system. Detecting the troubles in the principal's heart, the medical laboratory is being automatically upgraded. On. Detecting the troubles in the headmaster's heart, the medical laboratory is being automatically upgraded. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the special cancer medicine prescription. Congratulations to the host for receiving 1 billion medical research funding. Soon, Yi Feng saw the upgraded content. Cancer cure. Seeing this reward, Yi Feng was shocked. Isn't that what he needs now? There is also 1 billion in research funding. Can also provide a little help. Yi Feng's originally depressed mood completely disappeared. Peng Lin, it's up to you to talk about the treatment. But I have something to tell you, our school is working on a cancer cure, and it's close to success. When the time comes, your disease will be completely cured without spending a lot of money. So, you can't give up hope. 450. Yi Feng said to Peng Lin. Headmaster, is this true? Peng Lin said very excitedly. From the moment he was admitted to the hospital, he knew there was no hope for him. The only idea is not to drag the family down. But now, Yi Feng's words have brought a ray of light to his already dark life. If someone else said this, Peng Lin would definitely not believe it. But Yi Feng is different. He is the chancellor of the University of Mond. And Mond University is a place where miracles are made. You can rest assured to recover. The day of recovery is coming soon. When the time comes, Mond University welcomes you back. Yi Feng looked at Peng Lin and said seriously. Peng Lin nodded in confidence. After chatting with Peng Lin for a while, Yi Feng walked out of the ward. Uncle Peng, we have already met Peng Lin. We will leave today and come to see him when there is time. Outside the ward, Yi Feng wanted to say goodbye to Father Peng. Headmaster Yi, thank you. Father Peng did not hold back. He knew that the school leaders were busy. Being able to take time out to see their children is already a benevolent act. They don't ask for anything. Yi Feng and Director Guo left. Peng Lin's parents entered the ward after Yi Feng left. Seeing his parents, Peng Lin smiled. The whole person looked more cheerful. Looking at their son, Peng Lin's parents were very strange. When they went out, the son was not like this. Why does the headmaster come in and feel better? Son, what happened to make you so happy? Father Peng asked curiously. Dad, I have good news for you, the principal said. Peng Lin wanted to tell what Yi Feng told him. But before he could say anything, the doctor came in. Who are Peng Lin's family? The doctor asked blankly. We are his parents. Father Peng replied. You have to pay the surgery fee as soon as possible so that we can arrange the surgery for your son. This disease is one day less hopeful. The doctor urged Peng Lin's parents to pay the money quickly. Hearing that the money was about to be paid, Peng Lin's parents immediately became embarrassed. They simply can't take that much money now. If you borrow it from relatives, it will take 2 days to arrive. Mom and Dad, I don't do surgery, you don't need to pay. Seeing his parents embarrassed, Peng Lin felt very uncomfortable. Son, if you don't pay, what will happen to your illness? You don't have to worry about the money problem. Your mother and I can solve it, and you can rest assured to treat the disease. Father Peng knew that his son did not want to drag the family down. Peng Lin has been very sensible since he was a child. Because the family is not rich, so many times he saves it. Father Peng is very proud of having such a son. But now is not the time to save. Although there is no certainty about the effect of treatment, there is really no hope if there is no cure. The doctor looked at him coldly, without the slightest sympathy. He has seen a lot of this kind of thing. Happens frequently in hospitals. But if you want to see a doctor, you still have to pay first. Dad, my illness doesn't need to be treated here, and I don't need surgery. Our principal just said that the school is working on a special cancer drug, and it will be successful soon. At that time, my disease will be cured by taking medicine, without spending so much money. Peng Lin repeated what Yi Feng said to him. The idea of trying to persuade my father to pay. Real. Father Peng was excited. Before he fully recovered, the cold water from the doctor next to him had already come down 0. Returning the special medicine for cancer, your principal can really fool people. This drug simply cannot exist. So many medical institutes in the world have not succeeded. If your school can study it, unless the sun comes out from the west. By the way, are you from that school? The doctor sneered and said disdainfully. He has been involved in cancer treatment for many years, and has never heard of any cancer cure. Even such developed medicine abroad has never mentioned this medicine. Let alone a university. Even the most powerful schools in the country may not be able to study them. Our Mond is a place for miracles. What other schools can't do, Mond University can. Peng Lin said very firmly. He believed that the principal would not lie to him. Mondo, a second-rate university. It's ridiculous. The doctor said disdainfully. In the same city, how could he not know about Mond University? It was because he knew it that he didn't believe it even more. Is Mond University worthy of such a statement? I won't tell you so much. If you want to get medical treatment, you have to pay, or you will be discharged as soon as possible. Hospital wards are tense. After the doctor finished speaking, he left impatiently. Dad, you go through the discharge procedures, I don't want to stay here. Peng Lin said very firmly. Not to mention whether this hospital can cure it. Even the attitude of the doctor made him very disappointed. Living here all day is a waste of my parents' hard-earned money. Peng Lin's father hesitated. This is about the life of my son. But looking at his son's firm eyes, he could only sigh helplessly. Then get out of the ward. Mond University. Yi Feng and the two returned to school. As soon as he stepped into the school gate, Yi Feng spoke. Director Guo, you immediately notify the dean of the medical school and ask him to select the best teachers and students of the medical school. I am going to spend 1 billion to set up the Mond Medical Research Group, specializing in the study of special drugs for the treatment of cancer. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Director Guo was stunned for a moment. Really research cancer cure? I heard Yi Feng tell Peng Lin just now that he didn't care too much. I thought it was to comfort him and give him the motivation to live. How come it's real now? Headmaster, are you serious? Director Guo asked with some uncertainty. A cure for cancer is not something that can be researched by research. And it has nothing to do with research funding either. Mond University is rich, and he has no doubts about the 1 billion funding that Yi Feng said. But you can't make such a hasty decision based on a momentary mood. He felt that Yi Feng had such an idea because of what happened just now. Purely impulsive behavior. Of course I'm serious. Are you kidding me with 1 billion? Yi Feng said seriously. In the eyes of others, he is impulsive. But he was very clear. As for failure, don't worry at all. According to the prescription research, how can it fail? Director Guo Ten was silent. He really couldn't see anything serious. But I have already questioned the principal once, and I dare not do it again. The principal was so determined, he could only do as he did. So Director Guo could only bite the bullet and notify the matter. Yi Feng did not go back to his office, but went directly to the medical laboratory. Now that it has been decided, Yi Feng will not delay. What's more, there are still students waiting for medicine to save their lives. Medical school. Director's office. Old Guo, are you kidding me? Did the principal really say that? Dean Zhou of the medical school said suspiciously. Setting up a medical research group he understands. But this research project is really difficult for him to accept. If it is just an ordinary subject, they can do it with the support of funds. But now, as soon as I come up, I will study the special medicine for cancer. Are you looking too much at them? Old Joe, I hope I'm joking, but that's what the principal meant. You don't know, the principal and I went to the hospital today. Director Guo reluctantly recounted what happened today. After listening, Dean Zhou also felt that it was the headmaster's whim. When you want to understand, you should know that it is your own impulse. But now they can't go against the headmaster. After all, Mond University is what Yi Feng said. So Dean Zhou immediately informed him. Select excellent teachers and students in the academy. All capable teachers were called by him. At the same time, the outstanding students of various majors are brought together. Soon, a team of 30 people was assembled. After the teachers and students gathered, they all felt inexplicable. Don't know what to do at all. At this time, Dean Zhou spoke. Bringing everyone together today is the school's preparation to set up a medical research group. You are all excellent teachers and students of Mond University, so I want you to join us. Dean Zhou announced to everyone. However, he only talked about the establishment of a medical research group, and did not say anything about the research project. Sure enough, after hearing this, teachers and students were very excited. Allow them to join the research group and show their affirmation. Of course I will be happy. After Dean Zhou finished speaking, he took everyone to the medical laboratory. Yi Feng's meeting point was in the medical laboratory. At this time, Yi Feng was already in the medical laboratory. And he also met a student. This student is Qin Shui, who applied through the Dream Realization platform. Hey principal. Qin Shui saw Yi Feng in the hall on the first floor of the medical laboratory, so she quickly said hello. She has great respect for the principal. Although the principal was about the same age as her, Yi Feng gave her a lot of help. The medical laboratory built by the school gave her the hope of realizing her dream. However, the road to realizing her dream was much more difficult than she imagined. Are you the classmate who applied to the school to build a medical laboratory? Yi Feng looked at Qin Shui curiously. Except Yi Feng, the only student who can enter the medical laboratory is the one who passed the application. Although Yi Feng passed the student's application, he never met. I saw it for the first time today. Yes, my name is Qin Shui, thank the principal for giving me this opportunity. Qin Shui thanked Yi Feng. I remember that the research project you were applying for seemed to be related to cancer, right? Yi Feng recalled and asked Qin Shui. Yes, I want to study a special drug that can target cancer, but it has not been successful. Qin Shui's face turned red, a little embarrassed. Because of her application, the school spent huge sums of money to build such a medical laboratory. But she has not achieved any results so far. I'm going to set up a medical research group to study cancer-specific drugs. Would you like to join? Yi Feng asked Qin Shui. He set up this group because he needed excellent students and teachers to join. Although Qin Shui did not have much achievements, he must have some experience. Her joining definitely helps. Moreover, Yi Feng has a prescription, so it must be easier to study. Qin Shui was able to learn a lot in the group. Set up a medical research group. Really? Qin Shui was very excited after hearing this. It takes too long for her to study by herself. It's also not guaranteed to be successful until you graduate from college. With a team now, and with the same goals as hers, how could it not be excited? This saves a lot of time. Really, I have sent someone to inform your dean that someone should be here soon. Yi Feng said with certainty. Okay, I'd like to join. After Qin Shui was confirmed, he did not hesitate to confirm. There is no doubt that it will be successful. Yi Feng was very satisfied with Qin Shui's attitude. Researchers must have the spirit of not being afraid of difficulties. If you put it on others, the first thing you think about is whether it can succeed. If it doesn't work, it's a waste of time to join in. Such people will always miss opportunities again and again on the road of hesitation. From this point, it can be seen that Qin Shui will definitely achieve extraordinary achievements in the future. The development of Mon needs such students. While Yi Feng was chatting with Qin Shui, Dean Zhou came with someone. After seeing Yi Feng, Dean Zhou hurried over. Headmaster, the people have brought 30 people in total. 10 teachers and 20 students. Dean Zhou reported to Yi Feng. Yi Feng nodded, then looked at Qin Shui. You also joined the team. It is good. Qin Shui obediently stood among the students. Yi Feng came to the front of the team. You have been brought here to form a medical research group. This time I have prepared a research fund of 1 billion yuan, and you don't need to worry about the issue of materials and equipment. I just want the final result. Yi Feng told members of the research team. Hearing Yi Feng's words, the members of the group were shocked. 1 billion research funding. What does research cost so much money? Before coming, they already had guesses in their hearts. But everyone thinks it's ordinary medical research. It won't be too difficult. But now $1 billion in research funding is scaring them. It doesn't look like a simple project by any means. Finally, a teacher couldn't take it anymore. Principal, can I ask, what are we going to study this time? Not only him, but all the members of the group, except Qin Shui, are very curious. What we're going to study this time is a cure for cancer. Yi Feng said to someone. Hearing the last few words, everyone was shocked except for a few people who knew the situation. This result surprised everyone. At first I thought it was a difficult research. But now they know that this is a nightmare. Can cancer cures be successfully researched? Not to mention the teachers and students of these second-rate universities. Even the teachers and students of the top famous schools in China may not be able to succeed. After the shock, everyone looked at each other, not knowing what to do. Some people even looked at Dean Zhou and wanted him to persuade the headmaster. The idea is just crazy. But Dean Zhou looked up at the ceiling, completely ignoring it. He knew that it was impossible to persuade the principal now that he was excited. Maybe he will be dissuaded from his position as dean. Anyway, it has nothing to do with himself, so why should he come forward? If you have any opinions, you can put it forward, and you can say if you don't want to participate. Yi Feng looked at everyone's expressions and asked. Some things should be said in advance to avoid problems when research is obtained. The teachers and students present did not have any opinions. It's not that I don't want to participate. There is only one question in my mind: can the research be successful? Wouldn't it be a waste of time to know from the start that it wouldn't work? However, no one asked the question. Ask research-related questions, naturally there is no problem. But as soon as they came up, they questioned the results, and no one would do it. If so, what is the difference between dismantling and dismantling? No one is that stupid. Seeing that everyone didn't speak, Yifeng continued. Since everyone has no opinion and reason to participate in the research, the medical research group was formally established. President Zhou, serve as the leader of the group. Yifeng looked at Dean Zhou. Am I the team leader? Dean Zhou was stunned when he heard Yifeng's words. I just thought it had nothing to do with me. Now why is it on myself again? Headmaster, is this inappropriate? Dean Zhou said with some embarrassment. What? Is there anything inappropriate? Do you feel that you are not capable enough to handle it? Yifeng glanced at Dean Zhou lightly. His words are very obvious. Replace if you can't do it. However, it was not only the position of his team leader that was replaced, but also the position of the dean of the medical school. You can't even manage the group, how can you manage the school? I can, principal, don't worry. Dean Zhou quickly assured. He didn't want to lose his position as dean. That's good, let me tell you a time, 5 days. After the 5th day, I want to see the results. Yifeng once again said something that shocked everyone. 5 days, how is that possible? That's right, no matter how much money is given, it can't be done. This is a special medicine for cancer, something the world can't do, we can do it in 5 days. It's so hard, there's no hope. It's more than difficult, it's just despairing. None of the group members felt able to do it. There may be some hope for a few years in the study of cancer-specific drugs if the research funds are sufficient. But for 5 days, I didn't dare to think like that in my dreams. Principal, these 5 days are indeed a bit difficult. Quote. Dean Zhou said to Yifeng with a bitter face. Even if he changed his dean position, he couldn't guarantee it. 5 days may be a bit difficult for you to research on your own, but I'm talking about 5 days with a full prescription. Yifeng naturally wouldn't let the members of the group develop a special cancer drug within 5 days out of thin air. Although he doesn't know much about medicine, he still understands common sense. The reason why he said this is because he was able to come up with a complete prescription. This saves a lot of research time. Complete prescription. Headmaster, you mean you have a prescription for a cure for cancer? Dean Zhou did not believe his ears. How is this possible? As Li Hao, yes, I have a special medicine that can treat cancer, and it is a medicine that does not have any side effects. Yifeng said with certainty. After hearing this, everyone took a deep breath. This thing is really shocking. I didn't expect that the principal still has such a baby. If there is such a prescription, it will be the gospel of thousands of families in the world. How many families in the world are overwhelmed by cancer? How many families have gone bankrupt because of this? A happy family, a cancer can make it miserable. This is how you can see how hateful cancer is. There are many medical research institutions that have been trying to conquer cancer. They are all looking for the easiest way to treat cancer. But without exception, they all failed. Unexpectedly, the principal holds the gospel of all mankind in his hands. The whole research team was thrilled. The skeptical attitude just now had disappeared. No one has any objection to the 5-day period, Yifeng said. In the case of a prescription, if they can't complete the research, they should change careers as soon as possible. Principal, there is no question now, when to start research. Dean Zhou said happily. At first, I was reluctant to be the team leader, but now I am full of motivation. How could he still be unwilling to do this kind of research that is doomed to fail? And this research is a special cancer drug. After the success of the study, the benefits of these researchers are definitely not small. Whether it is technology or fame, it will improve a lot. President Zhou, you arranged for everyone to prepare for the study today, and it will officially start tomorrow. I only have one request, to see the results as soon as possible. Of course, not if you are cutting corners, Yifeng said to Dean Zhou. After speaking, Yifeng left the laboratory directly. He believed that the rest of the work could be arranged by Dean Zhou. After Yifeng left, the entire research group moved. It didn't take long for the prescription of the special cancer drug to be passed to the laboratory. Dean Joe began to arrange work reasonably according to the prescription. The entire research work is refined, and everyone has their own things to do. Only in this way can the special cancer drugs be researched in the shortest time. Because there are no worries, the whole group is very motivated. Work up, the enthusiasm is also very high. Everyone is looking forward to the early availability of cancer drugs. When forming a research group at the University of Mond, a major event happened in the First People's Hospital of Zunyang City. Father Peng saw that his son insisted on being discharged from the hospital, so he chose to trust Peng Lin. After finding a doctor, he plans to discharge his son from the hospital. In fact, in his heart, he was still very uneasy. If the principal hadn't lied to Peng Lin, it would be their family's savior. But is there really a cure for cancer? Doctor's office. Mr. Peng, how can you be so confused? You believe that? Let's not say whether it can be researched. Even if it can be researched, do you know how long it will take? If it is bought 2 years later, will your son be able to last until then? The doctor persuaded Father Peng. He persuaded Father Peng in this way to let Peng Lin continue to stay to see a doctor. Of course, although hospitals like to make money, they still have to do their jobs. Explaining the pros and cons to the patient is what they do. Hearing the doctor's words, Father Peng was silent. What the doctor said was what he was worried about. But he could see that his son had made up his mind. He knows his son's character very well. Once something is decided, it will not change. In fact, Peng Lin believes that his school is one aspect. It's more that you don't want to drag your family down. Before Yi Feng came, Peng Lin had already made a decision. He was reluctant to receive treatment. Just when Father Peng hesitated, someone pushed the door and entered. President Li, you are here, what are your plans? Seeing the people who came in, Peng Lin's attending doctor said very enthusiastically. Dr. He, a reporter from Zunyang TV station wants to conduct an exclusive interview with the doctors in our hospital. You are the most skilled in the hospital, and this time I will give you a chance to show your face. Dean Li said to Dr. He with a smile. TV interview, this is a good opportunity to publicize the hospital. It is natural to find a doctor with a high level. Really, I'll prepare right away. Dr. Ho is very happy. This is not only publicity for the hospital, but also for him. For his medical career, there are very big benefits. What else is there to prepare? This can start, just like your usual work. After speaking, President Li invited reporters in. Hello Dr. He, you can see the patient first, and we will shoot a routine of seeing a doctor for post-processing. The reporter did not rush to interview, but asked the doctor to solve the patient's problem first. Father Peng was a little nervous when he saw a reporter coming in. He is an ordinary worker, and this is the first time he has experienced such a thing. Dr. He, let's go through the discharge procedures for us, this disease is dead. After hesitating for a while, Father Peng had already made a decision in his heart. He decided to respect his son's wishes. Mr. Peng, you have to think about it, this is your son's life. Dr. He still wanted to persuade Father Peng. Alas, the child has a stubborn temper and will definitely not agree. If we force him, we might do something stupid. Father Peng has already decided. No way, Dr. He knew that he could not persuade him, and could only go through the discharge procedures for Peng Lin. He is a doctor, so he can't force Father Peng to continue treating his son with a knife. What's more, the reporter was still there. Sorry, can I disturb you? What's wrong with this gentleman's child? The reporter asked curiously beside him. Mr. Peng's child has liver cancer and is in the middle and late stages. There is still a glimmer of hope for treatment now, and there will be no hope at all in a few days. Dr. He explained to reporters. Since there is still hope, why give up? Is it because of money? Reporter asked. In his heart, he had already regarded this incident as a story that poor families could not afford to be sick. Money is only part of the reason. The most important reason is that the president of the University of Mons said that the school will soon develop the first special cancer drug. Taking this medicine can eliminate the need for hospital treatment. For this point, Mr. Peng's son was convinced, and decided to give up the last hope and leave the hospital waiting for the special medicine. Dr. He explained what happened in detail. Is there really such a special medicine? The reporter asked in surprise. If there is such a drug, their interview will be so worth it. This is simply nonsense. There is no medical institution in the world that can guarantee that it can be researched. Mond University is ignoring life by saying such big things, and taking life as a joke. Doctor, he said righteously. There is a great resistance to Mond University. He wanted to report Mond's actions through the hands of reporters. Let everyone see the true face of Mond University. University is a place for teaching and educating people, and scientific research should be more rigorous. What's more, it's about people's lives. Dr. E's remarks have been recorded by reporters. At the same time, the reporter was also very angry. How could a principal say such a thing? Even if the school does research the drug. But how can such a guarantee be made to the patient before the results appear? Everyone knows that there is a lot of uncertainty in scientific research. No one can guarantee success until the last minute. Even if it is researched, it will take a long time to test what the side effects are. Otherwise, no one can guarantee what will happen. What's more, this research is still world-class in difficulty. Why would Mond University say such a big thing to a patient? Mr. Peng, are you sure the president of Mond University said something like this? The reporter began to ask Peng's father for evidence. They also need hard evidence before they report. Otherwise, don't dare to send it out. Well, I didn't hear it, but it was my son's own mouth, and it must be true. Father Peng is an honest man. Facing the reporter's camera, he speaks his mind directly. Mr. Peng, can we meet your son? The reporter asked Peng's father. Now the nature of the interview has completely changed. What was originally just an interview with a hospital doctor has now turned into a revealing report. They all have to expose the true face of Mond University. Comparing the two, the reporter will definitely choose the latter. Shooting the doctor's daily routine, what's there to see? This. Father Peng hesitated, he didn't know how to decide. Mr. Peng, don't hesitate. If a reporter interviews your son, it will definitely let more netizens know about you. Maybe, someone will help you to see a doctor. Are you really willing to put your son's life on the vague cure? Doctor, he persuaded Father Peng. After hearing these words, Father Peng was moved. He still wants his son to live well. It's just an interview, and it doesn't have any effect on them. On the contrary, the son can increase some hope of survival. Father Peng no longer hesitated. All right. Afterwards, Father Peng brought reporters to Peng Lin's ward. Dad, have the discharge procedures been completed? Seeing his father coming back, Peng Lin asked. It's done, but there are reporters from the TV station who want to meet you. Father Peng said to Peng Lin. Reporter, what did the reporter see me doing? Peng Lin felt very puzzled. At this time, the reporter also entered the ward. Hello, classmate, can I interview you a few questions? When the reporter saw Peng Lin, he asked. Go ahead. Feeling inexplicable, Peng Lin replied casually. Students, I want to know if your school is really researching cancer medicines. Reporter asked. Hearing the question, Peng Lin was stunned for a moment. Did the reporter know about this? I don't know the specifics, but our principal did say so. Peng Lin didn't know the situation, so he could only answer truthfully. The reporter was very satisfied with Peng Lin's answer. As long as there is this sentence, he can report. Does your choice to be discharged from the hospital have anything to do with this? Your doctor in charge said that you only decided to leave the hospital after listening to the principal. You have to know that your condition is very serious, and if you don't treat it in time, you are likely to lose your life. The reporter asked Peng Lin again. I have confidence in our school, and discharge is my own idea, not the principal. Peng Lin said very firmly. Hearing this, the reporter was surprised. What makes students believe in their school so much? Even risking his own life. Okay, that's it for today's interview, thank you for your cooperation. After speaking, the reporter took people away. Until the reporter left, Peng Lin felt inexplicable. Dad, where did you meet the reporter? Peng Lin asked his father. It's when you're going through the discharge procedures. Father Peng explained what happened just now in detail. What? How could he say that about our school? Hear Peng's father tell about the doctor's evaluation of Mond. Peng Lin was very angry. The use of such a word is used in Mond University. As a student of Mond University, Peng Lin knows very well what the school is like. From the beginning of the year to the present, all he sees is that the school is working for the welfare of the students. The Mond venue was built for the students. The Dream Realization platform was created for students. Medical labs are built for students. How could such a school be so wasteful? Besides, this matter is his own decision and has nothing to do with the school. At most, the school gave him some hope. I didn't like the doctor at first, but now I hate it even more. However, he can't say anything now. Afterwards, Peng Lin packed up and went home. That night, Zunyang TV broadcast a report. In the report, everything that happened in the hospital was put together. After all, he is a reporter from a TV station, and his reports are all real. Nothing maliciously deleted. But what doctor he said in the hospital was very inductive. And this time Mond is working on a special cancer drug. Everyone knows how difficult it is. How can Mond say that research can be researched? So many people support Dr. Ho's point of view. The president of Mond University said this, completely disregarding the safety of students. Soon, the story spread. Originally it was only spread in Zunyang City, but it soon spread to the internet. And it caused quite a stir on the internet. Especially those internet trolls, they have no scruples. What a rubbish school, how can you say that? Isn't this delaying students from seeing a doctor? That's right, I'm also researching cancer medicines, and I really see myself very well. It's Mond University again, and it's been like this with a little grade recently. A place where teaching and educating people, but disregarding the lives of students, such a principal is not worthy of being in the school. Boycott Mond University. My children will not go back to such a school. Superior. With more and more criticisms on the internet, many uninformed people began to have opinions on Mond University. Even started boycotting Mond University. This shattered the image that Mond University had managed to build among people. No matter how well a school develops, people cannot accept the practice of disregarding students' lives. In one night, Mond University made the headlines again. And the whole network is boycotting Mond University. All agreed that Mond did not deserve to be a university. Yi Feng is even more unworthy to be the principal. Early next morning, Yi Feng went straight to the medical laboratory without doing anything. He attaches great importance to this research. After all, there are still people waiting for medicine to save their lives. When he arrived at the 457 in the laboratory, there were already many people in the entire laboratory. The research team had already arrived and started to get busy. Everyone does their job seriously, and no one is lazy. Because of the prescription, each part of the research has a clear goal. This saves a lot of useless experiments. It saves more time to measure. It can be said that it directly lowered the difficulty of nightmare level to entry level. Yi Feng looked around and was very satisfied with the state of the group members. What is needed is this seriousness. At this rate, it might take less than 5 days. At this moment, Xu Lei, who was in charge of the school's online publicity, rushed to the laboratory. Headmaster, something has happened. Xu Lei said very anxiously. Slow down on what? Yi Feng said with a serious expression. Xu Lei calmed down and started talking about what happened. Also, he finds out the video of yesterday's news. Yi Feng listened to Xu Lei while watching the video. Soon, he didn't understand everything. At that time, I told Peng Lin that I just didn't want his family to be ruined. It can be regarded as giving him some hope of survival. After all, they are students of the school, and the school cannot ignore them. He didn't expect that he would cause so much trouble because of his own words. The doctor is also very troubled, as to say something so serious. Headmaster, what should we do now? Xu Lei felt a little strange when he saw Yi Feng so calm. How could the principal be so calm when such a big thing happened? You know, now the whole network is boycotting Mond University. If it is not handled well, the school is over. Don't worry about it, let them say what they say. Yi Feng didn't take this matter to heart. Because he is very clear in his heart that as long as the research of Mond University can be successful, all problems will be solved easily. Don't care, but, Xu Lei was a little stunned. It's all like this, don't care. Don't be so, just go back to work. Yi Feng left the laboratory after speaking. Before he could get back to the office, the phone rang. And it was a call from someone who surprised him. Hey, leader son, why do you have time to call me? Yi Feng said into the phone. The call was from Sun Junshan, the leader of the education department. Brother Yi, your school really doesn't rest for a while, and now such a big thing has happened again. A helpless voice came from the other side of the phone. Since the beginning of the new semester, there have been many hot searches at Mond University. And it's getting bigger every time. After all, Sun Junshan is the leader of the education department, and the pressure is really great. A leader called him this morning and asked him to investigate. After all, this has already involved the safety of students' lives. But according to Sun Junshan Yi Feng's understanding, it is definitely not such a person. There must be something he doesn't know about. This is not the first time that malicious smears have occurred. Brother Sun, you can't blame me, there are always people who make a fuss. Yi Feng was also helpless. Mond University wants to keep a low profile, but its strength does not allow it. How can it be resolved? Sun Junshan asked Yi Feng. The reals of this thing are too big. If it is not resolved, it will definitely have a great impact. Don't worry, brother, you will be fine soon. Yi Feng said very confidently. 0. Hearing this answer, Sun Junshan was silent for a while. Brother Yi, I want to ask if the cancer medicine is real. Sun Junshan asked. It's true, within 5 days, you can succeed. Yi Feng didn't hide it. Sooner or later, the cancer cure will be announced. Okay, I'm waiting for your good news. Sun Junshan said very happily. For what Yi Feng said, he believed very much. No one on the internet believes that Mond University can succeed in research, but Sun Junshan believes it. His years of experience have taught him that this school is not as simple as he imagined. Don't look at it as just a second-class university, the future is definitely limitless. So when he led Jean to investigate Mond University, he believed it very much. Then, the two ended the call. Yi Feng just put the phone down and the phone rang again. This time it was Ren Junfei who called. It is also whether Yi Feng needs help. Although it was only a brief contact, Ren Junfei knew that Yi Feng was definitely not what it said on the internet. It is even believed that Mond University can develop a special cancer drug. Ren Junfei is very clear about how terrible the influence on the internet is. He doesn't want Mond University to be affected, able to continue research. If it is said that the development of quantum chips is only to win glory for the country and let the country get rid of the world's technological lock, then cancer medicine is able to save countless people. Therefore, the research on cancer-specific drugs is more meaningful. Yi Feng was moved by Ren Junfei's ability to call. I can still think about helping Mond University at this time. It's not something a partnership can do. This shows that Waihua is indeed a trustworthy partner. After chatting with Ren Junfei for a while, the two ended the call. It can be seen from these calls. Mond University is not going it alone as it once was. Gradually, it has its own foundation. This shows that Mond University is developing in a good place. As for things on the internet, I am not worried. Mond University will not collapse so easily. Soon, 3 days passed. In the past 3 days, the internet has not only not calmed down, but has become even more powerful. Mond University, in particular, did not move at all. It makes everyone feel that Mond University is guilty. Many people are clamoring for an explanation. Because things on the internet continue to expand, the pressure on the relevant departments is also increasing. Sun Junshan, in particular, is being urged by phone calls every day. But what Yi Feng said was 5 days, he could only drag it slowly. As long as the research at Mond University is successful, all problems will be solved. He did not inquire about the progress of the research. As long as it succeeds, there will naturally be news. Sun Junshan was not in a hurry, but someone was in a hurry. Zunyang City, in a rental house. Shaolin, how is your school's research? Why is there no news yet? Father Peng asked Peng Lin. Dad, that's so fast, don't ask dozens of times every day. Peng Lin put down the book in his hand and said helplessly. He has been back from the hospital for 3 days. During these 3 days, Father Peng asked dozens of times every day. Peng Lin could only answer over and over again. When Father Peng heard it, he could only sigh helplessly. He also knew he was annoying. But he was anxious. 3 days after he was discharged from the hospital, Peng Lin could only control his condition by taking medicine. But it can be seen that his health is getting worse and worse. Because Peng Lin didn't want his parents to worry, he endured it by himself even if it was uncomfortable. But Father Peng could feel it. Seeing his son like this made him feel uncomfortable. For every first day of delay, Peng Lin's condition gets worse. He was really afraid of what he was most worried about. If it really takes a long time, he is afraid that the special medicine will not cure it. I have no money to treat my son, so I can only wait like this. While they were worried, Mond had made new progress. Mond Medical Laboratory. Yi Feng received Dean Zhou's report and rushed to the laboratory immediately. How's the research going? Yi Feng asked immediately after seeing Dean Zhou. Headmaster, it went very well. After 3 days of sleepless struggle, we have successfully researched it according to your prescription. As long as the final experiment is completed, the results will be known. Dean Zhou excitedly reported to Yi Feng. Although this research is not their own research, but they are very involved. They will also be honored when the cancer cure is rolled out around the world. When a cancer patient is cured, it may not be a person, but a family. Okay, when will the experiment start? Yi Feng is still very satisfied with the research speed of the research team. It was originally 5 days, but now only 3 days have passed. It's already in preparation, ready to start. Dean Zhou called Yi Feng because he wanted to see the results of the experiment together. Okay, let's go have a look together. After speaking, Yi Feng and Dean Zhou entered the drug laboratory together. There are only 2 people in the lab. Just experimenting with drugs, 2 people are enough. Seeing Yi Feng coming in, the 2 members stopped their work. Hey principal, the 2 shouted together. Yi Feng saw 2 members, one of them was Qin Shui he knew. Does the experiment begin? Yi Feng nodded, then asked. Principal, the experiment has just started, and it will take a while for the experimental data to come out. Qin Shui replied. Okay, then we'll wait a while. Now is a critical moment, and it's not too short of a while. There is still some patience. Soon, an hour passed. The experimental apparatus stopped. Qin Shui immediately went to check the results. Successful, Headmaster, we succeeded. Qin Shui took out the report of the experiment and gave it to Yi Feng. Yi Feng immediately looked serious. According to the data, the special drug they developed can inhibit the spread of cancer cells. At the same time can strengthen their own immune system. It is very effective for the treatment of cancer. And it can be seen from the data that the drug does not contain any harmful substances. There are no side effects on the human body. It can be said that their research was indeed successful. Yi Feng is very satisfied with this. This is what the prescription says. After hearing the experimental results, Dean Zhou and the researchers next to him were very excited. When they became university teachers, they never thought that such a great thing would be born in their hands. You know, there are more than 10 million people with cancer in the world. Cancer medicine can save their lives, and even their families. This kind of thing can be called great. Before they were happy for how long, trouble came. Director Guo of the political and religious office ran in from outside. Principal, something has happened, and many reporters came from outside, including TV stations. Director Guo said very anxiously. This time it happened. If it was some small reporters, he would pass by flickering. But this time even the TV station came. And it's aggressive. As a director, he really has no choice. So when he received the news, he immediately ran to Yi Feng. It's really time for these reporters to come, and it saves me from going to invite them, just in time for the launch of the special medicine. After Yi Feng heard the news, he didn't have any worries, but a smile appeared on his face. Director Guo felt very strange. Didn't he say things urgently enough? Why is the principal happy? Totally inexplicable. Come on, let's meet these reporters. Yi Feng said to Director Guo. Ah, good. Director Guo had no idea why he followed. In order to make Yi Feng prepare, he was introducing the reporter along the way. Yi Feng just listened and didn't take it seriously. It doesn't matter which reporter it is. Soon, Yi Feng and Director Guo came to the administrative building. At this time, there were already many students watching at the entrance of the building. In the lobby on the first floor, the reporters, guns and short guns are ready. As soon as the target appeared, they would definitely jump on it immediately. Just then, the student at the door shouted, "Look, the principal is here. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more."